When I was about 7, I was very shy and I never really spoke. And my teacher was worried because she said that I was never communicating with the other children, or like would never be able to ask for, I need to go to the toilet or whatever. I couldn't ask her, I was too afraid. So she did this play. We were 7 and we were all dinosaurs, and she made me be like the head, the main character, the main dinosaur, the scariest dinosaur with the most lines, the most words to say in the show. Everybody was like, where does this come from? Like, she was silent, and then when I went on stage, suddenly I was really like a huge personality. So that's my first memory of performing. Well, my mother was very shy, and she couldn't dance and couldn't speak languages, and she can't really swim and she can't drive. She's got all these things that she never did, and she was a single parent. She brought me up alone, and she had in her mind, I want this child to become everything that I'm not. That I learnt to drive, to swim, to speak languages, to be able to dance. And she started me dancing when I was 4, but she didn't really expect that I would make a career. She was very humble and sort of quite apologetic, I think, about the fact that we were there. But I think she just wanted me to even silly things like she would be afraid to make a phone call to, I don't know, electrical company or something, and I would be 7 years old, and she would say, right, you have to phone the electrical company now and ask them to come round to check this thing, and I'd be like, I can't do it, and she would make me do this because she was too afraid, and she's like, I'm not going to let you be like me, you have to learn. So I think I was my mother's voice when I was a child. Always speaking in a restaurant, I would always ask for the bill, or things like that, that are social skills that you learn as an adult, but I learned them very young. I'm influenced a lot by French philosophers and writers. I know Antonin Artaud, he's a French writer, wrote a book that I really like called The Theatre and Its Double. I'm not sure what it's called in French, but it's all about how life is a performance. And I believe, and I agree with his philosophy, that life is a performance. And I believe that when I was learning to ask for the bill or learning to call a taxi for my mother, I was performing. I was learning how to perform or to play my role in society or something. And I think that type of performance is the same as going on stage. I feel like everybody is playing a role. So if you decide to become a chef, you adopt the personality of a chef, influenced not just by yourself, but by maybe books, the television, or all these informations that you've taken into yourself about how a chef should be. You adopt this character. I think it's very, very similar to performing. I've done every job that you could possibly imagine involving performance. I've done cabaret, magic, the ghost train, an actress, singer, dancing on podium, life modelling for artists. I have this kind of attitude towards being observed. I like it. What I tend to do in my performances is I give myself the tools to make it kind of engaging. So I like to build myself a world on stage. So I have set design, my costume, and I know that I have a few things that I might do in the show, but then what I try to do is to respond to the moment, so it's always different. Once I was performing and the bar, it came very close to the stage, so immediately I will respond to the space. So I jumped off the stage and got onto the bar, and then I was walking around the bar, kicking people's drinks off and singing at the same time. But I have a very specific idea of what I want, and if it's not there, then I get upset. So like very minor things are important to me, because I think in performance what's very important is the details. I come from a jazz background. My father was like completely obsessed by jazz, so when I was growing up, in jazz music everybody in the band has the solo, so I do that. It's because I try to let everybody have their moment. I have a friend who has a really good bar. It's like a jazz bar. I always go there because I like the challenge of just going in with musicians you've never met before and just saying, I'm going to sing this song, and they interpret it and you just see what happens. And I love that challenge. And recently I took my band to this bar and I was like, right, we're going to do a show with no computer, with no like anything, and you have to watch me because I'm going to change everything. And we played the songs and I was putting solos in and was telling them play this bit quieter and then play this bit, and it was like the smallest little venue, and like afterwards the whole band were just like smiling like, oh, we're real musicians, like this is real, and it makes you feel like there's blood going through your veins. And they're like, why can't we do every show like that and maybe make a mistake? And God forbid that any human being would ever make a mistake. And that is the thing I think that's important about jazz and about real music, is that, you know, a mistake is beautiful, because as people we all make mistakes and it makes you feel human. But when you're in this sort of marketed pop package, you become, everybody expects you to always be perfect and nobody allows you to make a mistake. And I think that's what I like about jazz, that it's real, like anything can happen, and that's like amazing. 190 miles an hour.